I'm just saying the cards are pretty bad. The bodies are terrible. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
You're already dropping hardcore opinions.
There are some good cards.
There are some good cards.
I'm happy about that.
There are some good cards. There's also cards where the art is just so either awesome or adorable. It makes me want to play the card despite its stats, like Murloc Tiny Fin, for example.
Oh my god, he has the tiniest little sword ever, and I love him.
So...
He's definitely going to be a plushie next year, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, I would buy him so fast.
So for those of you who are living under a Hearthstone rock and may not have heard, we got the new adventure announced and revealed, which will be called the League of Explorers. So everyone who saw blue-colored everything was like, it's Ice Crown, ladies and gentlemen. You're wrong.
Completely and utterly wrong.
Yeah, nobody predicted this at all.
Well, how could you?
We were talking about Ulduar, we were talking about Ice Crown, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, we made something up. Yeah. It doesn't even exist in the game. How about that? But it is, I like the fact that they're now kind of, Hearthstone is branching off and going like, let's take the World of Warcraft and let's like think of things that haven't actually happened in it, and we'll find a way to make those a reality here. Yeah, so like all this stuff comes from the game, but it's just a thing that never actually happened.
It's still really recognizable. Like when they were showing like slides and stuff, you can identify with that if you're a Warcraft player. You know,
you're going
the
in
zones,
like
the areas.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're going in like dungeons and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing like a greatest hits of like 5 bands from Vanilla WoW, which I am all for. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and some so okay. Am I wrong, or is Reno, what's his name? He never existed anywhere, right?
Correct.
No.
I was like, oh, they get Harrison
I was like,
Jones.
Bran, sure, I get. He's everywhere.
Because there's a couple of places where there's like this Explorers League faction, right?
So maybe Ro would know.
We have a
microphone, man.
Come on.
Just jump in.
Ro, special guest thing on the Angry Chicken, everybody.
Ro from Realm Maintenance.
Yep.
So I can tell you that the Murloc and Reno are new characters.
Okay.
The Night Elf, she's been in the game before. And, of course, Bran Bronzebeard.
And Bran, of course,
is
everywhere. Yeah.
I'm really... Is anyone else really concerned that Bran Bronzebeard is just going to talk so much we're not going to get anything done in the game? Because I'm a little scared.
Actually, so I think a lot of the audio we got today was thank you, Ro.
Yeah.
Ro, everybody.
Yay!
He's always dropping knowledge bombs. So I think a lot of that audio that we got from the presentation... By the way, Brode, can we just say Brode killed it?
Yeah.
Brode was
just
straight killing it.
If our listeners out there have just been keeping up via fan sites or our podcast, Ben Brode solo did the freaking Hearthstone panel today, and he just absolutely murdered it.
I'm so used to the Blizzard panels being like a guy comes out and he's like very kind of dry, and he's a designer, and he's like, yeah, so here's a tree that's going to be in this zone. And you're like, oh, that's a nice tree. And Brode comes out, and he's like, hey, BlizzCon! And then he goes puts a safari hat on.
I've got a safari hat.
He's like doing stand-up, essentially. It was great.
It was pretty wonderful.
He was
pretty
just
wonderful.
so excited about everything. It was hard not to get excited watching him
Yeah.
just dance around the stage like that. It was amazing.
So, Dills, you mentioned how it's kind of cool that Hearthstone's kind of taken the world of Warcraft and telling their own stories with it. And I think it's one of the cooler things from this that I feel like no one's talking about. Everyone just jumps straight into let's analyze the cards. What's great? What's terrible? How's this going to affect esports? But can we just be like lore nerds for a second? Because there's some really cool storytelling going on here.
It's amazing.
They made some new characters. They're bringing in old ones. Very bizarre side characters that I definitely don't think about. I mean, maybe Jocelyn does. I mean, you're a lore nut.
Such a nerd.
But
I know.
like even the cards themselves, like Ben Brode when he was up there was kind of making a joke about wobbling runts. He's like, "Oh, here's a card that when they death rattle, like they're stacked up and then they fall apart." That's the story. And he kind of laughed. And it's like, well, still, that's like one card that has a little bit of narrative to it. And I think it's super clever.
I love all the little stories he writes in his head, like, and I just love to picture him like sitting there playing Hearthstone, like trying to not only like play cards but like actually tell a story with his play style instead of like, who cares what my opponent does because I'm gonna have these guys and then they're gonna fall over. And
which when you look at some of these cards, you need to have that because and honestly, you look at some of them, you're like, oh, this was never gonna actually work, but it'll be fun.
Yes,
there's a lot of that. I think so I came to a conclusion that I'm just gonna stop worrying about how competitive Hearthstone is, and I'm just going to accept the fact that this is just a fun-ass game. And so let's just have fun with it, right? Like,
oh, congratulations, you made it, Bills. You've reached the rest of us.
Well, no, there's a lot of people who aren't who don't think that way at all, and those are the people who are screaming and yelling on Reddit for the last week.
But we're not
friends
with those people. It's okay.
No, but a lot of those points are valid, and like the thing is, a lot of people want the game to be really competitive, right? Because they they like the competitive aspects of a lot of games. And there are still, like, watching the World Championships, there's some great players playing really good decks and playing them really well.
Right.
So it's in the game, but, like, as the game has gone on, more of the cards just feel like, oh, no, we're supposed to just have fun with these. We're not supposed to go like, oh, yeah, how am I going to turn my whole deck into Legend? How am I going to build a viable deck with that? Like, we should just not think that way anymore, right?
That's true.
Like, let's just move on from that.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Let's talk about Elise Starseeker for a second, because she's the legendary card that kind of got the biggest rise from the crowd when it was shown during well, actually, I guess the opening ceremony when Eric Dodds came out in his tucked-in T-shirt. I don't know why he still does that, and was showing this, and Dills and Joss, like the three of us, have just been kind of nothing but crapping on this card today. But
I'm so excited. I think it's going to be super, super fun. Like.
It is a silly card. So real quick. It's a 3/5 for 4. It's a legendary. It's got a battle cry that reads "Shuffle the map to the golden monkey into your deck." Which, if you're a Hearthstone player, you know exactly what that means.
Yeah, I saw that and instantly knew. Yeah, I know what the map of the golden monkey does.
So okay.
I totally think you're saying it wrong, though, dude. It's not the map to the golden monkey. It's the map to the golden monkey. You got to be like super excited.
Oh, my mistake. Is that how it's pronounced in Canada?
Where's your safari hat, Garrett?
So you have to play her. Then she shuffles the map in, which is a 2-mana spell, which shuffles the golden monkey.
But also draws you a card.
It does draw.
I might add.
You get to draw a card for 2 mana.
Yes.
Yeah. Which then shuffles the golden monkey, which is a 6/6 minion that costs 4 mana that has taunt, that also has a battle cry that replaces not only your hand but your entire remaining deck with legendary minions, which is one of the most insane things that has ever been put in this game, and the fun factor is off the charts.
So, okay, when I looked at the card, though, all of the things you're doing are okay for their mana cost, right? Yeah. So it's okay. It's fine.
I mean, I'm not
totally balanced.
I feel like you're selling the golden monkey short a little bit, Dills, which I can't believe all those words came out of my mouth in a sentence, and I believe that they make sense.
That's never been spoken before.
But I'm not sure, it's 4 mana to replace every card you have left with legendary. How do you put a price on that?
Well, essentially, it's 12 mana, but you also get a 3/5 body along the way, draw a card, and play a 6/6 with taunt. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they add things to each of those steps, because everyone's like, oh, you can't. This will never happen. You got to play 3 cards to do it. It costs all this mana. And I'm like, but along the way, you're doing something fine, right? So it's not. Right. I don't know. The golden monkey dream might be real.
It will be super fun. I'm stoked to try the card. And luckily, since it's an adventure, we're guaranteed to get all of these if we buy the adventure or purchase it with gold or however it may be.
Unless you can't beat the bosses.
Right, which
could happen.
We'll just keep listening to our show. We can help you.
Yeah, and we all, I think all 3 of us, Dills maybe yes or no, played the actual first temple.
Oh, yeah, I played it. It's incredibly fun.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, although I didn't find it too challenging
no,
given
it was,
the decks that we
yeah,
had.
no,
so you should be able to get through it and beat the
They've said in the past that the idea is that on regular it should be beatable pretty quickly, and then heroic is where if you want to challenge. Right. But basically what it is there's no cards in the deck that you're facing, and if there's nothing to kill, you just have to live 10 turns. So the random stuff keeps happening. Well, I guess it's not random. It's kind of like planned out.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're given these choices, do I want to do this or that? And then you just play out your deck, which I guess they just pre-built, so you'll be able to build your deck. And it was really, really cool. There's a lot of really interesting interactions that happen, things that have never happened before, and cards you've never seen before. I think there was a 1-mana 10/10 that they played against me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I hovered over it, and I was like, I could sap that. Oh, wait, it costs 1 mana. I don't want to sap that.
Yeah, no, I had a good time with it. I'm actually, I've said it on the show before. You guys are aware. I'm like the adventure portion of the adventure is the thing I'm the least excited about. I just want new cards.
Yeah,
which I'm definitely getting what I want because every adventure before this was 20 some odd cards, and now we're getting 45. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, I've been dropping a lot of cards in.
Yeah, it's a really big influx.
I'm super excited about it.
It was so big that through the whole time that Ben was talking, I was like trying to take pictures of the cards. I was like trying to read and figure out exactly like how we would use stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like, Brode, slow down. You're going too fast, man. Like, I literally can't keep up with these 45 cards in an hour. Like,
every time a card would be
insane.
shown, there was like no reaction because everyone was silently reading what it was. I was going like,
it was delayed.
What does that do?
Reaction.
Yeah. Every once in a while, it was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, and then you hear this like, audible like, oh, I see, okay.
And if you defeat this boss, you will get these cards. He said many, 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 many times.
Yeah.
So looking at the legendaries, guys, is there any in particular that we kind of think are just straight up good and not kind of a really hyper fun but maybe not actually competitive card?
I think that the Arc Thief Rafam, is that how you say it? I think that might be good in a super slow control deck.
I think so as
So
well.
it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
9
the
mana
artifact
7/8.
guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so the only way to like have time to play this is maybe something like Control Warrior, and then you get an artifact. The artifacts are all 10 mana cards that all do something kind of crazy.
Right, this might be a good time also to talk about the new keyword, Discover.
Yes.
So there's a new keyword coming in, I want to call it League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, League of Explorers, League of Explorers, and it has a new keyword called Discover. And when you play a minion with Discover, are there spells with Discover?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily.
There's the one
there's the
mana
Druid one, I think.
spell that
That's
says
what it is. Okay,
either
so it is-
Discover spell or
it is
Discover
not minion specific, so there are some spells.
Yep.
But when you play a card that has Discover on it, you basically get to choose from 3 random cards that are not in your deck, but they will only ever be neutral or the class you are playing.
A spell from the class you are playing.
Yes.
Yeah. You won't get like a Druid spell and a Mage.
Right. Or same thing for minions. You can find class minions.
Yeah. The
but-
class minions are neutral or class specific, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point is, you only ever see neutral cards or class specific
Yep.
cards for the class that you are playing. You're not going to get a warrior card as a mage, for example.
Right.
But so Discover is really interesting because it's kind of like tracking in a way, but tracking pulls cards from that are actually in your deck and discards the 2 that you do not select.
Yes.
So Discover shows you a choice of 3 random cards that are not necessarily in your deck. They could be.
It essentially adds a card to your deck.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
and then you
basically
draw it.
You're pulling a card out of the ether.
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, I'm going to have to play with it to decide if that's actually good enough, because most of these minions, like, I understand that a minion that draws you a card should have a weaker body than a minion that, say, does nothing, right? Obviously. But I think a lot of players are going to come to this point where they're going to have to decide, is the tempo loss I'm getting, worth it on this turn to then draw a card that may or may not be good? And if the cards, more often than not, are good enough to, make up for that loss on that turn, then it will work out. But that's what worries me about it, because this is what we saw with Inspire, where you'd get a card that's weak for its mana cost, and then you're supposed to be able to do something cool with the hero power, but you're also spending 2 mana on a hero power, not playing them like a Dr. Boom on that turn,
Right.
right? So the guy who plays Dr. Boom is gonna then just win the game because you're playing a 4/4 for 6 or something like that. Yeah.
So the reason that you like Archthief Rafam is how we're choosing to pronounce that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming is because the 3 artifacts that he always shows you will always see the same 3 artifacts,
Yes.
are all
They're all
very-
super powerful.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're all incredibly powerful. You
And
have-
I think Control Warrior, essentially, if you drop this and you can have a board that's fairly clear when you do, the opponent will have to kill a 7/8 and then deal with whatever artifact you decided
Right,
on,
exactly,
right?
because he costs 9 mana, and the 3 artifacts you have a choice of getting from him, they all cost 10 mana, and they're all incredibly strong. Lantern of Power gives a minion 10/10, for example. That's one of the 3.
Plus 10. Yeah, so if it lives and you pick that one, you could turn it into a 17/18.
Yeah.
That'll be
and then just win.
Yeah.
And also, it's turn
Yeah.
9, so you probably did a little damage along the way, so
Yeah.
you might just win the game.
There's in Hearthstone, there isn't a lot of ways to do stuff like that, right?
No.
In Magic, there's ways to turn cards into something ridiculous, and sometimes this happens. But you can then chump block forever, and it never kills you, right? But but in Hearthstone, there's not a lot of ways to make something like a 17/18. That's just
Exactly.
hasn't really been a thing. I've seen people make 11/11s with Power Overwhelming and Void Terrors and stuff like that. But I think this is the first time we've seen a 2-card combo that makes something that insane.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting card. I think it's cool.
Now, sticking on the subject of Discover overall, obviously everyone's out there talking about RNG, as they are every single time new cards get added to Hearthstone. How do you think about it overall? Because obviously it is a random effect. We're getting 3 random cards. They're not in our deck. It's tailored somewhat to the class you are playing. What do you think of that? My gut reaction is, yeah, it's more randomness, but it's controllable
Yeah.
randomness, which I kind of dig.
It's a range, right?
Right.
To me, that's okay. I prefer it when it's a range. I don't I've said on the show, I don't like the spiky RNG that either wins you or loses the game, right? So things like Ragnaros, what does it hit? Because it's just one giant 8-ball or 8 damage fireball, right?
You can't forget Crackle.
Or sure, Crackle hits for 3 and you don't win now because of that. But this is here's 3 cards, it's a range, and then you kind of control that randomness within there and make a decision. I like that kind of stuff.
I'm excited about it. I'm always excited when they give us new keywords because I think that it's just, more expansion on just the general idea of the game. I'm actually kind of surprised that we don't have Inspire cards at all. Like, it seems like they...
Oh, yeah, they gave us none.
Yeah, we got no Inspire cards whatsoever. So I was kind of like, oh, well, that's interesting because it was such a big thing only a couple months ago, and now it seems like they've just dropped off from that completely. Which is unfortunate because I thought potentially they could introduce some more and then we'd see, more Inspire decks.
Inspire decks might actually work. Yeah.
Same way we did with Dragons, when BlackRock came out, they were kind of meh. And then, Tournament came out and it was like, oh my God, Dragon Priest is a thing. This is amazing. So, I really thought that maybe in the adventure we would see like 1 or 2 Inspire cards that would really turn things around, and we didn't. So I'm just like, are we losing Inspire completely? Like, are they just giving up and saying this is something that doesn't work?
It doesn't work. It works really great in Arena. There's actually a lot of Inspire cards that are really good in Arena.
Hey now.
Kodo Rider is actually like that's a win condition in Arena. You can play that out, and they can't always kill it. And then you already get 2, 3, 5.
Now, sir, I play mid-range Paladin. My Murloc Knight bakes to differ.
Well, Murloc Knight is the only one that actually...
Because he spawns another Murloc Knight, and then I have 2 Inspire triggers going off, and you quit the game. So,
But right now, Paladin is just broken, right? We can all just agree that Paladin sucks.
Thank you. Ghost Crawler's Ghost.
It's true. It's the bane of the ladder right now. It was funny that Ben Brode made that joke too on stage about how Inspire was taking over the ladder, and it was
yeah. I mean, back to your point about Inspire, we just did have kind of like an Inspire party. If there was any keyword they were going to leave out, it kind of stands to reason that would probably be it. I mean, I'm with you. I would have liked to see some more. I
mean, we also saw no stealth cards, right? So are they killing stealth?
And no charge, right?
No charge?
Yeah,
well, I think they are kind of
taught,
deciding, the charge thing was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Charge and card draw in general. I mean, yes, we have Discover, but it's not actually card. The big issue with card draw is drawing into your win conditions and these insane combinations. So if you're, in the case of Discover, you're not necessarily getting the piece of the puzzle that you need. In some cases, you'll get a piece of the puzzle you didn't know you needed, and it'll be wonderful. But
which we haven't talked about on this show, since it's been a while since we last did a show, because Garrett got married.
I did. I'm married, guys.
Yeah, that happened. And everybody was out of town for that except me. So I just streamed last week, and we didn't do a show. And in that time, since our last show, Reddit went crazy. Everybody talked about how this game sucks now, and like the death of the game. And there was a lot of like
a big thread.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah. There was multiple threads, and there was like people, big personalities in the Hearthstone scene came out and straight up said like I'm done making Hearthstone content. Like I'm not doing it. Trollden said he's not doing it anymore, and Disguised Toast both said I'm not doing it because I don't like the game right now. So I mean that's a big deal, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it. But I don't think we'll do it today. But it was a crazy time for us not to be doing a show and all this stuff going on. And then we got this announcement, and it was like everybody on Reddit is now like, does this fix the game? And we're all excited about this cool
We
stuff.
don't know when we're happy.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I love this. I love this theme. I love the lore behind all this stuff. And I'm just kind of like I'm just over all that stuff. I just like Ben Brode's enthusiasm was infectious today, and these cards look super fun. And I think there's going to be like Dreadsteed decks are going to work now, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited for Sir Finley. I think the idea of discovering a new basic hero power is super cool. So if you've got like a class where you really like the kit, but you don't necessarily like the hero power.
Oh, hey, Shaman, what are you doing over there?
Yeah. Shaman, sure.
See a totem, random totem, go to hell.
Exactly. So, and I mean, like he's a pretty good body for 1 mana too. You've got the 1/3. Like I think he's playable, and he's a Murloc. Like playable Murloc.
Sir Finley is a neutral legendary. He's a 1/3 for 1. He's a Murloc, so he synergizes in the Murloc decks. And I don't care about that because I hate Murloc decks. But yeah, no, you're the discovered.
But how can you hate them anymore, right? Like I don't know. I think they're good.
Insane.
They're fine now. I used to hate them more than anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I just don't have a great time piloting a Murloc.
But imagine playing like a Murloc Shaman, and then on turn 1 you throw away your hero power and get the Warlock hero power, and still have Bloodlust and and like all that stuff. That'd be cool, man.
Now, Also, Joss, I mean, you missed the best part of Sir Finley, and it's his damn voice. It's like the best voice acting I've heard in Blizzard games in a long time. He's like the most British gremlin I've ever heard.
I thought you were going to say that the best part of him was his last name, and I didn't say it.
Murgleton. Sir Finley Murgleton.
Amazing.
Say it loud, say it proud. Just digging it. So yeah, I don't know. Real quick, back to the Reddit drama, which I guess I could just say to the Reddit,
because it's always drama.
Yeah. So I don't know. You just kind of over it, Dills? Because of all of us, Dills, you're probably the most Reddit inclined.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I probably. Well, okay. So a lot of the posts had some very, very well thought out arguments about what the problems in the game were. And then the comment section was just a bunch of a-holes being a-holes, right? But the people who originally made the post were actually presenting really interesting arguments. And a lot of the arguments right now is just that the minions have just gotten so damn sticky and good, and we've gotten rid of all of the combos, that now essentially we're stuck with a game where there's like one best way to play it, and that is to play the strongest stat for stat minion each turn. And the decks that kept that in check, like patrons, are now like gone, right? So like there's nothing keeping that in check, and so tempo is just like taken over. And it's true. It's very true. The minions have gotten stickier and better, but you know it's not a problem that I think is like as easy as Reddit seems to think it is to fix. And I'm sure Team 5 is aware.
I
of it, right?
disagree. I disagree with that as well.
Yeah.
Well, and do you guys think that maybe this is just like, I mean, like the new aggro? For a while, everybody hated aggro, and then everybody hated patron, and you know, like there's always seems to be some sort of play style that
there's always
going to
be a best
yeah,
deck,
exactly.
for sure. Yeah.
So I feel like now, like tempo is starting to take over a little bit. So is that just the next thing because everyone seems to be doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's that not necessarily people don't like tempo, but people just don't like the fact that you know it's so cyclical with like. Everyone's doing the same thing all the time, regardless of what the same thing is.
That is very true. Like, you know, there's all these people complaining, but we're not hearing from all the people who are just playing Secret Paladin and just loving it, right? Like, they're just like, hey, man, I'm winning all the time. I don't care. And then the other people are like, I got to try to counter this meta. So it's like a bunch of people are probably having a great time right now, just like stomping everyone with the Secret Paladin. But I do think a game is healthiest when... like, yes, there's going to be one powerful deck. That's probably always going to be true. But I think the game is healthiest when there's a lot of ways to play it that are all equally kind of viable, right? So when you have combo, aggro, control, tempo, and they all have like versions that work pretty well, that's when the game is going to be the most fun for the most people, probably. So I think I'm sure it's something. And I talked to Yangwu briefly about it while we were streaming. And I was just like, yeah, you know, this game has gotten like so different than it used to be. Because it used to be the control was very, very good. There was a lot of combos, you know, Leroy Jenkins and all this kind of stuff. And the game has just kind of progressed, and everyone just does what everyone like. It's not the player's fault; they're trying to play the best deck, right? It's just the tools have gotten more and more tempo oriented, and that's just like what rules. Mm-hmm. So, but I think I'm just gonna stick to my dills to whatevs gun. And when this comes out, I'm going to make Dreadsteed that runs the thing, the 1/1 that turns into a 5/5. If you have 6 minions on board, I'm definitely playing that. I'm definitely going for the Golden Monkey Dream. Like, all that's going to happen. Yeah.
That animation on that golden monkey, it makes me so happy. It's just like, I can't even imagine what would need to happen in order to actually play the golden monkey, because it seems like by the time you draw through your deck to find the map and play the map and then play the monkey, like, you're not going to have very many cards left. But still, if it ever happens, like, it feels like it would just make me feel so good, because, like, your hand goes legendary and there's the big glow, and your whole deck goes legendary and, like, dings like you're leveling in Warcraft or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so amazing.
And then you draw Lore Walker Cho and into Nat Pagel.
Oh, thank you, Nat Pagel. I've missed you.
He's back in the meta.
That'd be so good.
So should we like talk about like what some of our just favorite cards out of the set are, like rather than go over all of them?
I was gonna say, I'm just.
Well, I was
gonna
say,
through, like,
I was gonna say, Jocelyn, do you feel like you like the Golden Monkey enough that you'd want to make like a fan site about it?
I think that's a possibility.
Okay. Do you know where you could make your fan site?
Where could I make my fan site, Garrett?
You can make your fan site at squarespace.com.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Or you
I
can-
hadn't
Why
even
don't
thought
you-
of that idea.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about Squarespace?
Well,
Garrett?
Squarespace is cool because if you're listening to this podcast on our RSS feed, the whole thing is built on the back of it because I don't know how to code a website.
It's all Squarespace is also they nerfed Patron, they nerfed Undertaker. Squarespace is behind all of that. Squarespace is
you
actually
wouldn't
Ben Brode.
believe the things
Yeah.
that they
You
can
need,
do.
you need to
guys.
stop saying
Have
that.
you ever seen Ben Brode and Squarespace in the same place at the same time? I haven't.
Oh, that's wonderful. But no, seriously, thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. Use the code TAC, get 10% off your order. So check them out.
There you go. If you want to start your Overwatch podcast because
Yeah.
you're super excited about all the new characters.
There are many people walking away from BlizzCon today, not even tomorrow, not even after it's all over. There are many people leaving today. They're just like, oh, yeah, Overwatch podcast time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
By the way, so we got a lot of information about that. We're not an Overwatch podcast, but I was kind of waiting for him to go. Remember when he goes, it was Jeff Kaplan, and he goes, does anybody here not have access? And I was like, to the beta?
To the
And then he
beta?
goes,
I thought he was totally
yeah,
doing
and then he
that.
goes, to the internet? And I was like, what?
I was like, everyone in the audience totally
I
hates
thought he
you
was going
right
to be
now,
like,
dude.
everyone at BlizzCon gets the beta.
Yeah,
and then
everyone
everyone
with
would
the
have gone
virtual
crazy.
ticket. Yeah,
right?
That was
would've
just a
been
really
crazy.
unfortunate
Didn't happen.
break in speech pattern. That
Yeah.
was like because my brain went to the exact same place,
Yeah.
and then when he said internet, my brain locked in place. I'm like, oh, I see exactly where he's going with this. This is hilarious, but everyone else is really mad.
Yeah, everyone else is like, dude, come on, man. Think about what you're saying.
So bad. It's rough. It is that does suck for them though. By the way, to keep on the Overwatch tangent for just a second, to have like 50% of your announcement like just completely foiled.
Oh,
thanks
yeah,
to
the day
GameStop.
before. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was brutal.
Thanks, GameStop.
I can't believe like that the employee just wasn't properly briefed or something. I came up with a theory that because the guy actually went in and bought it, right? Like
Yeah.
a guy bought Overwatch and like had a receipt for it. So like my theory was some dude came up with a brilliant idea, built a fake GameStop, and was selling Overwatch stuff. He leaked it to the internet, and then the next day they would all come back to return it, and there'd be no GameStop there anymore. And like that must have been what it was, but no, it was just some weird
It's
thing.
just, yeah,
Yeah, gotta love
someone
GameStop.
not paying attention.
Yeah, they not only do they sell my mom the wrong game, they leak, they totally ruin Overwatch announcements. So
But it was a great announcement.
it was.
Yeah.
All of them. You know, this is a good BlizzCon year. You know, we're going into this. A lot of people were emailing us and tweeting at us, "Hey, what are your predictions?" We're like, we don't think it'll be a big surprising year because we already know everything that's coming.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned out to be true. There weren't any huge surprises, but it was just solid. Everything. I am excited about every Blizzard game coming out right now. Even Diablo, which
No,
had
me
a
too.
very small showing at
The
BlizzCon
big
this year.
announcement was that 3.4 is coming or whatever.
Oh,
right?
wait,
That was
I
it?
totally
Yeah.
thought you were going to say the big thing was the Mercy Wings. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah, that
the
was
Mercy,
huge.
yeah, but that was in the Overwatch announcement.
As a Crusader, I'm very excited about those Mercy
Sure,
Wings.
those are sweet.
They're quite
But no,
impressive.
like we got a lot of like, obviously seeing the cinematic for Legion. Every time I see a WoW cinematic, I like it's emotional for me, and I'm like I immediately want to play WoW right now. And that hasn't been happening a lot for me. That like wants to play WoW.
I was so scared for Varian. Oh, my God.
I thought he was
I
gonna
was-
die, and
I
then
know,
he was
I
like, "Nope,
what are
gotta
they
fight."
doing right now?
But no, that was
that was,
amazing, amazingly done. And then we
Oh.
saw the movie trailer, so which
Oh,
I
yeah.
hadn't seen. I hadn't had it spoiled by the internet. So.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen it either. The
Nope.
only thing I saw was that like 15-second out of context
The
like,
teaser.
Yeah.
And man, that trailer, it looks so good. And there were a couple moments in the trailer that I know exactly what is going to happen in those scenes, and I'm just like, oh man, like I don't think I can watch this, guys. Like I really think there's going to be parts
you'll
of
be
that
able to
movie
watch
that I'm going to have to like, I don't know, leave or look
gonna be
down
emotional.
or yeah, I'm just going to like bawl like a 5-year-old. I don't even know.
I'm really glad I'm not the only one who was just getting mad Blizzard feels today.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
just something about a lot of the universes in these games that just get me.
Mad Blizzard feels, everybody.
Yeah.
We've got some Safari adventures.
What
it
is
looks
happening?
Oh my god! Holy crap! I wish we could turn. Come
Yeah.
stand in front of the
Yeah.
camera at least. At least.
You have to show the internet who's here.
For the audio-only listeners, Ben Brode and Young Woo just walked in the room with their explorers hats.
Yeah, this is live.
It is live. Wave.
We're on the
Wave.
internet right now.
Oh my god!
Hey,
Hey.
I know you're recording live right now.
you're ruining it, bro.
All right. Well,
Are you allowed to talk to us, or are you strictly
run away?
forbidden?
Say what's up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say what's up into that if you want.
Microphone right
Lindsay told us you can ask us no questions.
Okay.
Okay.
How are you? I'm sorry. I won't go there. Where did you get the? Never mind. This is not allowed, everybody.
So I'm not allowed to ask you what card you're most excited for.
Correct. But I
All of them, Garrett. All of them.
I really like Keeper of Uldaman.
Okay.
Find
it, Garrett.
I'm
find
frantically
it.
trying to find it. Is it a neutral?
Hello, everybody.
It's a paladin card.
Okay.
Looking for that goal. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Keeper of Uldaman. It is a 4-mana 3/4, and it reads Battle Cry. Set a minion's attack and health to 3.
Oh yeah, this is like the new Tinkmaster Overspark.
Right.
I'm actually really
I'm
excited about
for
this
him.
card too.
Well, can we
Right, 'cause it's
compliment
not
you guys
random.
on the great work today?
That's allowed.
Yeah.
That's allowed.
Yeah. All right. That was my favorite presentation of the day that you gave earlier. Killing it. I was slightly disappointed because you could have done BlizzCon, welcome Ben Brode, and then ran out yourself. So missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I should have done that.
We really wanted the Ben Brode introducing the Ben Brode.
I did it last year. I did the 2 years ago. I did
oh,
the-
really? Okay. I wasn't paying attention.
Your panelists, Eric Dodds and me.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Ben Brode is like the voice of God at BlizzCon.
Yes.
All the interstitial stuff. If you're watching the costume contest, it's all Ben Brode. It's all his voice.
You should have been watching the costume contest. It was crazy.
Is that going on right now?
It's
we
over.
missing that?
Yeah.
It
It's
happened?
It was
It's over.
nuts.
It happened? Oh, man.
It was so good.
Well, VODs exist.
Yeah.
This was the
We were
first.
watching Hearthstone.
That's
Jeez.
true.
Reasonable.
Which, by the way, has been incredibly exciting. Hot form got
Yes,
through.
hot
That
form.
was,
Go
he beat
Canada!
he beat a face hunter. He beat a face hunter with a
With
rogue.
a rogue.
How? I could never do that. I don't understand. I guess there's a reason I'm not on the stage.
This is awesome, like, being in the same room as you guys.
Right?
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it great?
That was like the weirdest out of body experience to have like a Blizzard dev say that.
Oh,
What?
jeez.
That's not supposed to happen that way.
I mean, there was definitely a time where the three of us, we couldn't get a Blizzard dev to show up to anything we did. So this is weird. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Yeah, this
It
is
means
awesome.
a lot.
All right, well, I can't ask you what you're doing after this then either, huh?
I'm probably going to sleep and get ready for tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Reasonable as well. Also reasonable. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. This is crazy. We did not expect it.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm dumbfounded. We were just going to talk
You
about
say you did
cards.
not
Guys.
expect it, and there's like a seat with a mic. hooked up.
We're not the only
That was
show
for
today.
Ro. That was just for Ro.
Yeah.
Like, that was, yeah.
Young, do you want to say anything? Get down in the mic.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the show. I have a long commute. I basically listen to Angry Chicken every week, so I'm a huge fan of you guys. This is really awesome to be here. So,
Look at this. Look what's happening.
and it's really awesome to be here with all of you guys. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
So,
Young
yeah,
Woo,
for
I'm
you guys
getting
who
the
don't know,
vapors.
this is so our and you guys over there. Yeah. So this is our guild hall, and we've been doing this for years
Yeah.
now. With so AIE is our WoW guild,
Oh, nice.
and every year we have our guild hall at BlizzCon. It's amazing.
You
Yeah.
guys, Hoarder Alliance.
Horde.
Lord.
Sorry,
All
buddy.
Horde all
Oh
the
no,
time.
they're all leaving now.
Ah,
You're just lucky that we haven't run you through, sir.
yes.
It's okay. The Legion's coming. We're gonna fight together.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're all buddies now. We're all friends now.
For Azeroth.
That's right. Yeah. For Azeroth. That's the new. I don't know. I don't know. If
But
that's
if
this
we're
mean I
all
can-
friends now, how are we supposed to PvP? I don't understand.
It's a whole new system. It's a whole new system.
Does this mean I can raid with my alliance friends?
No.
What?
Oh well, then why make me say for Azeroth? If it doesn't change the gameplay, I don't get why we're getting warm and fuzzy.
So did this surprise you guys? Did we get you off guard with the League of Explorers?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
We were all
Absolutely.
talking
Okay,
about that
all
because
right,
we all
all
had
right.
predictions.
Okay.
None of them came true.
So at lunch the other day, Mr. Brode, since you can't talk, I will just talk for you. Mr. Brode was like, "So, Jocelyn and Garrett, what are your predictions?" And we just sat there. Why? So we can tell you all the wrong shit we think is going to be announced.
And then the one thing that did come out of my mouth, oh, that's cute.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, that was a teaser? That wasn't a teaser.
No.
That wasn't.
It's been a fun game to ask people what they think it was going to be because
Yeah.
everybody was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, when you put something out that's literally never existed that we really had nothing to
Yeah,
go
when you
off
invent
of,
something,
it's kind
hard.
of it's kind of hard to
That
guess
was
it
so
correctly.
cheating. It was so
Oh,
cheating.
Brode, I think it's going to be about these 4 explorers. Your eyes are just like,
Yeah, I know. All of a sudden you're like,
How
what?
did they know?
Yeah. I think you're going to invent a new Murloc that's a gentleman. That's definitely going to happen. I can see it now.
And he's going to talk like a British gremlin.
But it is the story is so cool,
Yeah.
and I love the idea that somehow a staff will tie the room together. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's really important.
Like, man, we're
have
just
you tried
missing.
have you tried to put on a museum before? Like,
I never have. No,
really important.
You
to
just
have
need a
like
staff.
like
Yeah.
a really exciting.
Step 1, get a staff. But no, it's like we were talking about that. It's amazing because at first Hearthstone seemed very much to just pull directly out of the World of Warcraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like here's a thing that's in the World of Warcraft. Now it's in Hearthstone, and now what you guys have done with the Grand Tournament and this is essentially take what exists already and then build on it and like send it off on a new tangent that never existed before. It's amazing. I love it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet. I would love to ask how fun it is, but you know.
it turns out Azeroth is a really fun place to be in and building stuff. So yeah, it's
I agree.
Are you guys going
I
to review
agree.
like every card before Thursday? Is that?
Oh, that's not happening. That is not happening.
No, we're just gonna talk about the golden monkey.
Yeah.
you know.
grade
Over
all the
and over.
cards again. Is it going to be like 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rolls up or something?
We
F,
need like we need a new scale. I think.
F.
Oh, you want us to use our our brawl rating scale?
No.
Oh my God, we got Jay Baxter from our team in the house.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
hey. This is amazing. We really appreciate all you guys showing up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
What's the curse party?
I'm sorry. There's a curse party right now.
Oh, crap.
No. Hey, you can't ask us questions either. I just made that a rule.
Actually, that could be a fun spin. So we can't ask you questions, Ben. Can you ask us questions?
Yeah. Do you guys actually?
Or Yang?
Okay. I know the rule. You guys can ask questions now.
I mean, Lindsay just said make sure it doesn't turn into an interview. So I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
it's like either way. It's an
Oh,
interview.
so that would be somewhat against the rules in a weird roundabout way. Yeah.
Make sure you.
Lindsay's rules are no fun.
But did she specifically say make sure you don't turn into the interviewee?
No, she. All right. So did we get you with the? It's coming this year. It's coming.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh yeah, you got everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many
Just
times?
Thursday mic drop.
How many
like,
times did Dodds like practice that timing? Because it was like it was perfect. It was like,
pretty
oh,
good, yeah.
I've heard this a million times from Dodds. I'm totally buying it. Wait, okay, he's still going. And then by the third, wait, I'm like, oh wait, now they're just gonna tell us. Like it's just coming.
and even then,
apparently.
like I thought we were gonna get a release date. I didn't realize it was going to be Thursday.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I got stuff to do.
Yeah,
You guys?
do you know how much I have to play right now, Ben Brode? Like, I don't have time for Thursday.
Yeah, come on, I'm still on my honeymoon. This isn't fair.
I told you guys. We have your calendars up, and then we just plan.
Yeah.
That's
the
what
most
that's,
awkward
that-
timing.
That's what it seemed like. You know? That's definitely what it seemed like.
It's funny because like that kind of stuff is what we wanted out of like BlizzCon announcements. Like,
Yeah.
stop! I did what? Like that's what everyone's looking for, and it's hard to deliver on that all the time, right? I'm sure. Well, I can't ask, but I'm sure. And you guys managed to pull it off pretty
That
well.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I need these rules more often. This is fantastic.
I'm just gonna start applying weird rules to my life. I'm just like, hey, before we start talking, I can't answer questions. Just so you know, Lindsay told me.
so we can, the way this plays out is basically we carry on doing the normal show, and when Ben feels the need to just chime in, he does, but he's not directly.
What we should do is just start giving like
questions.
horrible misinformation.
Yeah.
And just he sits there and he's just like, I can't let this go. Like I need to correct them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so they're nerfing Paladin finally. That came out today.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you complete the final wing, it actually deletes your Reddit account.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah,
I'm sick of that site anyway.
I'm going back to Dig.
Yeah. You know, I just thought of something. I still haven't beaten heroic BRM yet.
I just did that.
I'm
I
way
just-
behind you
yesterday.
guys.
I just beat Heroic BRM.
Oh,
Yeah?
did you?
Yeah, we've been working on the AI to make it better for this adventure, so I'm worried it's gonna get a lot harder.
Oh,
when,
okay.
Oh.
yeah, hot tip.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I got to do that. I got to do that now. It's like I can't have a new adventure come out when I haven't like
Yeah.
really finished the old one, right?
That's the right reason to finish it.
Yeah. I got to actually
Worried-
finish
Not
it.
the reason I'm worried I'm a terrible player and I can't pick up my own heroic missions.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
I actually hear that with today's decks, it's much easier than it was when it first came out.
That's the way it always works. I went back and did Nax,
Probably
I think,
true.
after
More tools.
BRM. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, more tools makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna cheese them out, all of them,
Yeah.
all those heroes.
I've never completed a heroic anything.
Yeah,
in Hearthstone.
Garrett doesn't care. Just,
just-
so you know. I'm sorry, Ben.
I
know that means a lot.
I will say the most recent the new card back for League of Adventurers or Explorers. Extraordinary
What
Gentlemen.
is the League of Adventurers?
Yeah.
Honestly, I
I've
find this
never heard of that.
I find this so hard to remember the name of
The
this.
League of
I
No
don't
One
know
Saw It
why, but
Coming.
it's just like it doesn't stick in my head.
Yeah.
Just like I was tweeting about it earlier, and I'm like, the new Hearthstone expansion or adventure, like that thing that we're talking about.
Well, we can just start calling it League, right? There's nothing
I
else
think-
that will be misconstrued.
no,
with.
never.
No, yeah.
never.
There's nothing else has ever been called that. So.
But what I was going to say is that the heroic card back is so damn pretty. I think I might actually have to hit up heroic.
Those
pretty
card
incredible,
backs are
yeah.
amazing, and as a total like geography nerd, when I saw the one that you get for like what is it November's
Yes.
reward?
Yeah.
Yeah. November's
Oh,
reward. With
question and answer. Busted. You got him.
Hey,
You're welcome.
Fired, Ben. You are so fired.
everyone be on the lookout for a blur of pink hair that will just come running through here. Just
Yeah, Lindsay is
them
actually like
away.
Tracer. She's just like, pew, 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 pew. Back to the fight.
oh, cavalry is here.
But yeah, so when I saw that it looks like a globe and a map and all this kind of stuff, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm never playing with any other card back ever again in my life. Like that was just made for me.
So that's actually the reason you're that excited about Elise Starseeker is because of her entrance animation. She does the whole Indiana Jones red dotted line stuff. It's great.
It is
It's
pretty
amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
She travels by map.
Yeah, apparently. Hopefully, she doesn't have to jump out in an inflatable raft somewhere along the way. That would be most awful. So we got Ben's favorite card. Dills, what's the card you're most excited for?
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna say it's the 1/1 that turns into a 5/5 because I can't wait to make my Dreadsteed.
Okay,
deck.
I can tell you. I got it right here. It's a warlock. It's a new
Yes.
warlock minion. It's a reliquary seeker. It's a
Yes.
1/1 for 1. And as you just said, yeah, if you have
Because Dreadsteed deck was so fun to tinker with and try to make work, and now I'm like, oh, like this is the card that makes Dreadsteed good. So here we go, Dreadsteed deck incoming.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, of decks this year that I've played, the most fun I probably had with was the Dreadsteed deck. Now, I did not have a good win ratio. with
No.
it, but my fun ratio was like 98%.
Are you playing Animagolem in your Dreadsteed deck?
No, because every time I get
Was.
one, I just destroy it immediately.
Yeah, but Anima Golem was like one of the first cards. I was like, oh, okay, this will work. And then it still didn't work. Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter's a thing. But like a card like this, a 5/5, you know, I'm sure they could silence it or whatever, or they could turn it into a 3/3, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
But like that, like I love that a card like that is going to be coming in, and you've already. It's like the tools are all starting to come together, right?
Yep.
Like one piece at a time, and then a card that sucked is now really good, like all the secrets in Paladin.
Yeah.
Almost all the secrets in town.
Almost all. Yeah, new Paladin secret though, so buff to Paladin. Actually,
Yeah.
never mind. Although that's another super. Like I love the idea of that too. That it's a trap in an old.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a Indiana Jones kind of trap.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Harrison Jones?
Sorry, Harrison. Okay, Harrison Jones.
Stay in the
trap.
universe, please. Stay with the canon.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. But yeah, no, like all of the lore behind the cards is so cool. And like Garrett, you mentioned what's the one that falls down and turns into the little dudes?
The wobbling runts.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a single card that has a narrative.
amazing.
Like just the one card has a narrative in and of itself, which is great.
The runt tokens that like drop off after you destroy the thing. We showed them in the video for the Sacred Trial card in the panel, but they're they were painted all in a row, so they're like 3 runs together. So and the way they drop off, they're all like part of the like a. I don't know, like the same image, sort of. So they look like they're like a party together.
Oh, so it was like
that's
all one
awesome.
Very
illustration
cool.
and then cut up?
Yeah, we cut, we
that's
cut up
awesome.
the single. So there's like normally when we like make like the spiders for the haunted creeper.
Yeah.
it's like the same art for the 2 spiders, but
Yeah,
we made
right.
3 different one
Wow.
long piece, but we cut it into 3 different pieces for each of the 3 runs.
The
That's
attention
so
to
cool.
detail.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love it.
like data mine fan sites are gonna have a nightmare trying to sort that one. That's gonna be a good Hearthhead somewhere is going like, oh, how are we categorizing this one, guys? What do we show when people actually search it?
So wait, have we heard your card, Garrett? What's your favorite,
I gotta
most
s-
excited
I
card?
gotta okay, so I've got a lot. Artwork, Murloc Tinyfin, just
Sure.
the best thing in the
Of
game.
course,
Done,
clearly.
it's over. Card I'm actually probably the most excited for is Tunnel Trog.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna say.
I'm really excited about Tunnel Trog. I don't know if that
Oh, that's the
the
mana worm
It's-
for shaman.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 1/3 for 1.
Yes.
It's a shaman specific minion, and it reads whenever you overload, gain +1 attack per locked mana crystal. So it's not just you overload, you get +1 attack. If you overload for 2, you get +2 attack, and it's additive. And it
It's
keeps
too bad
going.
elemental destruction just kills it though. Because that would be such a good buff. But oh well.
Yeah.
+5 attack.
Yeah, but
kill
but-
everything on the board.
But this is something we talked about on the show when we were talking about what's wrong with Shaman and what would make Shaman better is like more positive overload effects, things that make you want to overload and not just spend overload and afterwards just feel terrible.
Yeah. Oh wait, I've got it. You play Piloted Shredder, and then it drops out the Paladin card that bubbles the dude, and then you panda that back into your hand, and then you play that dude. You replay your Elemental Destruction.
That works. That works. That works.
Yes, did it. Problem solved.
Wow.
Oh man.
I'm building that deck.
We were
Lady-
actually really worried about that combo.
It
It's a real
creates
big concern.
it creates a style of play that is not interactive.
An emergency nerf incoming.
But does that affect the soul of the card?
Oh my god. Yeah. Damn it, damn it, Garrett. Oh, sorry. I was going to call you Reddit, and then I was going to call you
Garrett, Reddit, close enough. Close enough.
Totally the same thing. Equal amounts of rage.
Yeah. By the way, before you got here, Ben, we were doing our Squarespace ad, and I realized I've never seen you and Squarespace in the same room together. Are you, in fact, Squarespace? Oh, I can't ask questions. We were almost going to get to the bottom of that one.
Oh, jeez. Well, Yang, you're here. Do you have a card you're most excited for? It's,
I think the card I'm most excited for is probably Brand Bronzebeard.
Ooh.
Ooh.
okay, let me.
Double battle cry.
Yeah, it just like blows your mind off the gate.
So I'm just going to make an assumption, and then maybe someone can tell me if I'm right. If it's like a targeted battle cry, can I target it twice? I wonder.
I think that would make sense.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering stuff out
Let me just
loud.
clear the air. Let me just clear the air here. Yeah, if you choose a target, it shoots the same thing twice. So if you Elven
Okay.
Archer a guy,
Oh,
it
okay.
Oh, wonderful.
shoots that guy.
So,
So you don't
but
get
like,
I was wondering
like
how
if-
that would work
Like
just
an
in the
abusive
interface.
sergeant, we'll just make it a +4. then.
Right. Yeah.
Got it.
Ah,
Cool.
And a crazy
Very
alchemist
cool.
will like double swap.
That is
Oh,
super
so swap
cool.
it back?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's like, we're just gonna swap it back. It's like nothing ever happened.
so while we're just kind of wondering things out loud, I've been thinking
I
a
opened
lot.
the floodgates, I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
did. I've been thinking a lot about Priest, especially this Entomb card, and I'm like, choose an enemy minion and shuffle it into your deck. So it just disappears into my deck. So it's like removal too. I wonder. If only someone could possibly
Yeah,
clarify
fine,
that.
Yes, okay, yes. You
It takes it off the board
You
and puts
pluck
it into your
right
deck.
off their board and put it
Wow.
in your deck.
That
Wow.
makes Entomb a
Correct. No, yeah, it doesn't die.
Dude, this is the coolest card ever.
It
That
is,
is
it
such
is
a
really
cool card.
cool. It is really, really
Milkshake
cool.
deck buff confirmed. Maybe I can finally play it on the ladder. Again.
really cool art.
Well, you can
by the
always
way,
play it
too.
on the
I
ladder.
can. I
Just
love
depends
rank
if you
20,
like
you
your
guys.
rank.
I love rank 20. Can't lose stars. It's so fun. You just keep playing and playing and playing.
I promise
It's
not
really
to wonder
like,
anything
yeah.
else. Don't
When you
worry.
lose and then it pops up and says you can't lose stars, it's like, aw, thanks, man.
Feels good, man.
You're such a bro.
Oh man.
I just saw. I'll just say. I'll tell you a story to you guys. I was on the stream the other day, and I was like, I wonder what it's like for new players when they come in. They're like, I don't know how to build a deck. So then I was on my EU account, and I built the deck with the deck builder helper thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's like you're kind of like doing arena. And then I got to the end, and I was like, this deck is so bad. Let's take it onto the ladder. And then I actually won some games. So I was like, okay, it works. Totally works.
That was an okay
Best
story.
new
Nils.
player experience
That was
ever.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like, man, I went on like a 5-game win streak. You were like,
No.
oh.
Well, okay, so I did get Wilfred Fizzlebang, and he was my MVP. Yeah. Yeah. I said he's like the only legendary I have on my EU account.
You know,
so.
it-
Good. I think
He's amazing. Yeah. I got Molten Giant with him, and I was like, sweet. Free Molten Giant. Yeah. It was epic.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. By the way, the next Angry Chicken spinoff show will be called The Huge Toad.
Oh, completely.
I just want everyone to know that.
Huge. All right, here's the backstory on Huge Toad. So there is a there.
I do think we should take it on. Maybe
Sorry.
this one.
Next time. Next time.
Oh! The tease is real.
Oh.
The Angry Chicken is going to be having an awesome interview tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
On the next episode,
Yeah.
you guys will tune into all of that. It's really awesome to be with you guys. Sorry to be the fun killer. Now I'm going to be the fun killer. Dude.
Young Woo, the fun killer. He's like the big
Yeah.
game hunter of this room.
Hey, let's be nice here.
It was really awesome being out with you guys.
Thank you so much. for
Battle
coming.
cry. Turn off that Big Toad story.
You know, I'm just like the owl, like silence then road.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Iron Beak Woo.
Everyone be nice to Young Woo. He's just making sure that this stuff gets to happen again.
It's
Yes,
true. It's true.
It is.
So
I'm
yeah,
going to be able
and
to swing by again with
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're,
yeah. We don't want to make Lindsay mad.
we're basically at time anyway. We're about to wrap it up.
Oh,
so,
yeah. That's right. We're keeping Todd if we stay
Yeah,
much longer than this. And we don't
so-
want to do that.
So overall, Dills, Joss, thoughts on the new adventure? I'm stoked. I'm absolutely stoked.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I
am.
think after I had quit Hearthstone for like the last few hours, but I think I'm back in. I think I'm back in.
Did you make a really public Reddit post throwing a huge?
Yeah, no, I let
a
everybody
huge
know I
fit
wasn't going to
publicly?
play Hearthstone anymore, but I'm going to go right now and tell them I'm back. I'm back in, all the way.
Awesome.
I'm really excited to actually see, like, once we get in there and play each of the different bosses in the adventure and like how that's all going to play out, because we didn't even really talk about it too much, but the temple that we did get to play, just totally different mechanic, like something
Yeah.
we've never ever seen before. You're not just going up against a boss. So I want to see everything that we're going to get to play in the adventure. I think it's gonna
Very
be
exciting. If
Really,
you haven't
really
played
cool
it, everybody,
mechanics.
go stand in line for a while.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Would you say it's uncharted territory that must be explored?
Whoa.
Actually, though, like the Overwatch line is so damn long that it's probably like Hearthstone just feels fine in comparison, right? Like that Overwatch line, dude. I feel bad. I feel bad for the people in the back of that thing every time I walk by. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. One day.
Yeah, man. We're all sitting here in our tower of beta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Real
well,
warm in there.
That,
What did you just find on the ground there?
we are literally being flicked off by the live audience,
Oh,
podcast
man.
listeners, just so you know.
That beta has created two types of people.
So now
those
that we
who
have-
have it and those who don't.
Yeah.
And we are pitted against each other.
Now that we have destroyed all of the goodwill in the room, it is time to end this episode. Thank you, live audience, so much for coming out to watch this.
Yeah.
This is one of
It's
the most
amazing
fun
how
things
many
we
you guys
do
show
every
up.
year. Thank you, Ben Brode and Young Woo from Team 5 for coming in and crashing the show. This was wonderful. Such a treat.
That was super unexpected and awesome.
So
It's a huge pleasure for us to be here with you guys. It's really awesome.
Yeah, well, this is now Young Woo's second appearance after
Yes.
the episode 100. When he did
third.
push-ups.
Third.
And when you walked by, and you also walked by at one point.
You're looking very
in the
svelte.
background. It was amazing. Yeah. So how many are you gonna do for us today? This is episode 116. Just so you know.
I mean, after that last run, you should get out 16 more, right? It's not that hard.
You guys can get back to me when you want.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Challenge
I'm gonna hold you to
accepted.
that. You know we're doing 2
Challenge
episodes a week
accepted.
now. We're gonna get there a lot faster.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Anyway, so everyone, all the shows over at amove.tv. Thanks to Squarespace, our sponsors. Use the code TAC. Dills, where can folks find you?
Today, just find me out in the BlizzCon floor somewhere and say hi.
Cool.
And don't buy me any more shots.
No more drinks, guys.
Stop
we
it.
love you, but
I can't say no. No.
Actually,
New rule,
I
no.
I would like to request that you guys buy him water. I would like my friend to still be around. Thank you.
Yes.
And Jocelyn, yourself?
always on amove.tv.
We're always there.
Easy.
I'm
Easy
there as
peasy.
well. You can find me not here. I'll be on my honeymoon with my lovely new wife, Katie.
Yay, Katie!
So that's going to wrap it up. This was an awesome live show. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Jocelyn will be holding down the Brawl episode next week. Until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes! Thanks, guys. Thanks. That was really fun.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys, for stopping by. That was awesome. Yeah, it was really fun. You're good to go?
I need to kill this.
Actually, I don't think I can fit it in there. Oh, man, I could.
Bye,
I
stream.
didn't get to read chat. Worst episode ever.
It was pretty quiet, I think.